I feel like we're just not getting enough wrestling in this podcast. For some reason, you know, like, we got a dog that wrestles, we got a dog that wrestles, we got another dog that wrestles, but, like, it's just not enough wrestling. That's a mystery. It's a mystery. How much wrestling...
How much can I set this intro up? God damn it, somebody take this, please. Please,
hey, what's
I
up?
need to.
How's it going?
It's lucky that
Zoinks,
Boix
dude!
is lucky that Boix is editing this one, because then he can make
Are you a
himself look
professional? Are you a professional? Are we...
There's a professional here with me. Sorry, Boix. There's
I'm a
only
professional
one...
scoober.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm just a professional goober.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
He puts the mania in WrestleMania. He puts the fear in Fearless Warrior. He puts the in this all-new original movie.
Yikes! Run! Ghost!
A ferocious beast threatens the main event and the world's greatest superstars. John Cena.
You can't see me!
Triple H. Kane. The Miz. Brodus Clay. Santino. Sin Cara. AJ Lee. And Mr. McMahon.
Welcome to WrestleMania!
Team up with a dog.
Bring it!
Who puts the smack in SmackDown. Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery. Look for it on DVD, Blu-ray, or digital HD.
Hi, this is Rough Cuts. It's our podcast about
God
dog
damn
movies.
it.
Now he's talking over me now.
God damn
Man,
it.
I can't believe how much Boix fucked this up. This is really all Boix's fault, definitely.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
I'm your host, Ilian, and this is, of course, the co-host Boix, and our special guest for a second time, TheJewker.
Hey, I don't know why I've only been on for wrestling episodes. I've never seen wrestling ever, so it's just funny at this point.
Well, it's because you're our expert on video games.
Of course,
And
of
we
course.
just
And
did
dogs.
a Pixels,
and mysteries.
Pixels episode, which was not about video games. So now we need to do a real video game.
Yeah, no, that was about Hubert turning into a sexy woman.
Yes.
Yeah, that sure was. That sure was what that was about.
It sure was.
But yeah, we just need to get a video game expert on for whenever we do wrestling movies, which is generally when it happens.
Well, video game and anime experts.
If you get Cop Dog, then you know you're going to need a ghost expert.
Yes.
If you go for a Ghost Dog, you have to get a law enforcement expert.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, yeah.
These are just the things that we know about dog movies at this point.
And today we watch Scooby-Doo, WrestleMania Mystery. Not a WrestleMania Mystery. WrestleMania Mystery.
Yeah, that's a distinction.
Very oddly named. But
Yeah, it's a video game movie, as we all know.
a video game movie
Of
about
course.
the lucrative business of WWE video games, which you can purchase now at your local Target.
Yeah, you could find cool wrestlers like Sin Cara and John Cena.
And The Miz, which I think
awesome.
The Miz is awesome. I'm awesome.
pretty awesome.
I'm The Miz.
Who am I? I'm the Miz. I'm awesome. Who's Miz? Me. I'm awesome.
I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome. I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome.
So in reality, we got Juker here because Juker is a Scooby-Doo expert.
It's true. I have streamed every single Scooby-Doo game. I really like Scooby-Doo. I've seen almost all the movies. This is one of the few I never watched. I have seen almost every TV show. I really like Scooby-Doo, okay?
And has this lived up to the hype?
Honestly, I only knew the scene. If you know what this movie is, you've at least, even if you've never seen it, you know the scene. And I was like, how are we gonna get there? So that was all I knew about this movie, and I never watched it because I was like, well, I'm not really a wrestling guy, so I'm not gonna watch it. And
Yeah.
boy, was that a ride.
The scene that we're talking about is a scene where there's a giant boulder going after the mystery crew, right?
Yeah, I had not seen this.
And the
Yeah,
boulder,
like
the Boulder's a character. It's like, it's a
Yeah,
line.
it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It's The
famous
Rock.
wrestler.
He's about to people's elbow.
All of the mystery gang.
Yeah, which makes sense. And then John Cena just jumps towards them as they're at the edge of a ledge where the giant boulder's about to kill them. Just kill them. Kill them dead. Until they're dead. And John Cena jumps out and his theme song starts playing. Which is the best part.
Yes. That is the best part.
That is real.
And then he stops the boulder and throws it off the cliff.
That was amazing! Seen amazing.
How'd you know where we were?
Daphne texted me.
And then they're just like, well, how did you find us? Oh, Daphne texted me.
Yeah, Daphne texted me, yeah.
And that is all I have known for years. I was like, why does Daphne have his phone number? And
They explain
we
the
will get
lore.
to that.
Yeah, they explain
I'd like to
the
point
lore.
out real quick, though, for that scene, that guy never came back after that shotgun blast that he did that set that off. He never came back. That never showed up again.
Why did that guy have a shotgun blasting at them all?
He fired at them, and then it was like, well, could he be evil? I mean, he is, but they never...
Okay, hold up. Let me just preface this, like, let's put this into context, Juker, so that you can change your mind. I need to defend this man. You're saying that he's evil. The reason that he's fighting back against the people in this movie is because he wants to stop the expansion of Vince McMahon's WWE City that is taking over his ranch land.
To be fair,
understandable.
Vince McMahon built a city on top of his land that his family has owned for generations, and then carved a championship belt into his family's
rock.
Sacred rock.
The mountains, yes. I don't think this man is evil.
Probably right, but also he did kind of fire a real shotgun, a double barrel, at Shaggy and Scooby and, like, John Cena.
I can't remember a Scooby-Doo media that has somebody shooting a real gun until now.
That caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think the live-action movies had a real gun.
No, they didn't. I would have remembered a real gun in those movies.
Yeah, I think I would have remembered a real gun. Yeah.
So that's super weird that happens. And then also that it's never resolved. He's just a guy that shoots at them for building a city on his land.
That part's really weird.
Like, what?
Although I don't know what you're talking about, that the man was shooting a shotgun at John Cena. He couldn't see him. There's no way he was shooting at him.
I don't know why they put John Cena on the box for this. I didn't see him once in the whole thing.
I didn't even see him on the box. What are you talking about?
You could see his name. They put it there.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was on there.
Yeah, it's false advertising. Think about it. Anyway, Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery. It opens up with Kane just walking down the road to WWE City, which we all know exists.
Yeah, it's a real place. And they have to remind you every minute that it is WWE City with a shot of the WWE logo. I didn't check, but it felt like every minute, or at least 2 minutes, there was a WWE logo in this movie. If someone did a supercut of just the WWE logos, I wonder how much of the runtime is just WWE logo on screen.
Oh god, it's a
so
lot.
Many. I think there's only one
It's a
location in the whole movie that doesn't have a logo, and it's the cave.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the only place without a logo.
But yeah, we've all been to WWE City. Like, it's hard to get there, though. The passport system for the third circle of hell is really tough, honestly. Like, you would not believe the paperwork.
But anyway, so Kane is going to WWE City, which has a cardboard cutout of Triple H on a sign saying, "Welcome to WWE City," as his voice is saying, "Welcome to WWE City. Please buy our products at games."
Did you know we make video games?
Video games are pretty cool.
And Kane hates this because he lost the championship belt So he's going to the city to get his belt back or something.
We don't know. That's just implied. We don't really know. He's just...
I guess you have to see the last WrestleMania from 2013
This
or
is
something.
oh
'cause
God,
this is
Probably
a
relevant
movie.
to that specific one. Yeah.
God, it might be, honestly. That would
It might
totally
genuinely
make
be
sense.
actual lore that I don't know because I don't wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, The Miz is leaving WWE City.
Yes.
Because he's awesome.
Just running into the woods, listening to music, saying, I'm The Miz, I'm awesome. I'm awesome, I'm The Miz. I'm so awesome, I'm The Miz. I'm awesome.
I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome. I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome.
I knew when they did this bit that I'm like, all right, you know what? I think we actually found a banger.
And then he stops because he hears a noise, which is Kane. But he doesn't realize Kane is there, so he just stops. He's like, oh, it was nothing. Anyway, I'm The Miz. I'm awesome. I'm awesome. I'm The Miz.
I'm the Miz.
And this, unfortunately, leads The Miz towards a giant infernal ghost bear.
I think it's just called the Ghost Bear, right?
Just the ghost bear.
I think it's just called Ghost Bear.
But
yeah.
it's an infernal
me
ghost
check.
bear
It's
because
flaming,
there's
yes.
fire coming out of it, right? Like it's flame.
It has a Ghost Rider skull, yes. Yeah, like,
that bear pisses fire. You know it.
absolutely.
And anyway, the bear hits The Miz so hard that he knocked out of his clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Which is impressive.
he gets slashed in the face and completely destroyed by this bear. Because he's
It
awesome.
is actually just called Ghost Bear, by the way.
Okay.
I liked their PG-13, ooh, we're gonna slash him across the face and he's gonna yell not the face, but also, we really can't show him get gouged by a bear.
Yeah,
so
I noticed that too. So like he's got like the slash mark on his face, the Miz.
Yeah.
It's like he's got the scars before he's got the injury, which is really weird. It's a strange effect.
Mm-hmm.
I think they wanted this movie to be way more violent than it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
thankfully,
gun- like, just
much
the
like
gun, the
wrestling, I mean, this
slashing.
is also fake, so you know how it is.
Yeah. One day wrestling will be real. And they'll make it a real
Just
thing.
like anime.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like the One Piece live action. They'll make a live action wrestling event at some point.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, the hard cuts to Scooby and Shaggy playing the Kinect.
Basically, the Connect you.
So they can wrestle.
It might actually be. I mean, it's what 2014 in this movie.
Yeah.
People were still trying to think the Connect was fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They're. So here's a fun thing.
I'm just saying that don't downplay the possibility that this might be product.
I think it
placement.
is actually the Kinect,
Yeah.
but there are fighting games on the Kinect, and they are 2-player.
Yes.
Mhm.
And you're expected to stand next to the person side by side, punching in the air and kicking while not hitting them.
So I did mention earlier when we were watching the movie that I did at one point stream the Kinect Hulk Hogan game, and
Yeah.
it has some of the worst menus I've ever seen. The actual wrestling was also terrible. It was much worse than what Shaggy and Scooby were doing, where everything they did was translated perfectly, where here it was just like, I couldn't even pin.
Yeah,
Like I was trying and I was like, pin.
they didn't
Pin.
show
And it
where
just
they
didn't.
like walked slightly out of frame and the Kinect froze the game and was like, please walk back into frame and pose.
Or
Yes.
them awkwardly putting their hand up and then having to hold it for like a second while
Yep.
the circle happens.
They didn't show that part, but it was
them
implied.
trying to like lay down to pin the guy and like move their arms down and like do it down.
And
Nope, that didn't work.
it
Down
would
again.
punch
Okay.
or something.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's punching. Okay, why am I kicking? No, I'm not kicking. These are my arms. Down. No, down.
Yes. See, it wasn't accurate, which is why we know this is a fantasy. They also mentioned wrestling, so it makes sense. But they win the wrestling match, and then they have to do the victory dance afterwards,
Which unlocks the super secret dance.
which unlocks the super secret ending if you do it correctly. So Scooby,
Uh-huh.
Scooby does the super secret Connect dance perfectly.
Yep.
As
and then-
famous wrestler Sin Cara, of course.
Yes. Which unlocks a secret contest. Just like, what's that? There's an NES game that's famous for having a contest if you won.
Action
Shit.
52?
Not Action 52, oddly enough.
They do that though.
It's some,
I was thinking
treasure.
of the Advent Rising Majesco fiasco.
Oh my god. There's like a treasure game or whatever.
There's
that
been a
you can do that,
few.
yeah.
Anyway.
But they win the contest, and then immediately Vince McMahon pops up in their virtual video game.
Yeah, they get Last Starfighter. There's a reference that everyone will get.
Why are Shaggy and Scooby so obsessed with worshiping Vince McMahon? They call him their bro, their daddy, their big daddy, their sit on me daddy, Vince McMahon. They're really into it.
Are
Vince paid for the movie. Oh man.
Boo.
Ew,
Oh,
no.
boo.
Vince absolutely demanded that.
You can tell Mr. McMahon absolutely funded this and said, I have to be the good guy.
Yes.
Vince paid trip to WWE City. Come revel in a place dedicated to everything WWE.
Did Vince tell
He
the
paid
writers,
for 4 movies.
I need everybody in this movie to stroke my legs? And then they
Yes.
said no.
Yeah, no. They said yes because he fired that writers team and hired a new writers team that would say yes. This is Vince McMahon. Yes.
It's so bad and weird.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. This is a known thing with Vince McMahon. I don't know much about wrestling, but I know a bit about Vince McMahon, and he is exactly the monster you think he is.
Yeah. Anyways, he says that they did so well at the dance competition part of their wrestling game, which is a thing, apparently.
Yep.
That they won a trip to WWE City for WrestleMania.
I feel like we now need to posit which wrestlers have which dances as their final thing you have to do. What's the style for John Cena?
What?
I feel like breakdancing.
I don't think there is a dance for John Cena. How would they record it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And the Undertaker just, like, shuffles around while 80 on the ring.
Interpretive dance. Maybe, you know, he'd two-step. Undertaker's a two-stepper, I can tell.
Anyways, they won the contest, but they need to talk the rest of the gang into going with them. Mm-hmm. So they take them out to a diner, and they start asking them to, hey, let's go to a wrestling event. To which the gang says, no. Why the fuck would we want to go watch wrestling?
We're all massive nerds. Fuck wrestling.
Yeah.
I kind of loved this little subplot that they had. I think TheJewker was a huge fan of what they do with, like, Velma, and at least at first. It's too bad they kind of didn't fully, like, expand on it, but it was a cool idea.
Yeah, to sum it up, basically, Velma, the entire movie, is reading Wikipedia and learning about WWE.
She's like the edutainment character for WWE marketing.
Yeah, they never do anything interesting with that. Velma is like that the whole movie. Daphne, on the other hand, says, man, wrestling is so lame. And then somehow, I don't know how she did it. I think she was lying. I guess she imagined how John Cena would look. And he was one of the most beautiful things ever imagined. He was so hot, so sexy, that she's instantly like, okay, wrestling is cool.
Because Daphne wants to go to WrestleMania so that she could potentially bang the wrestlers.
Well, that's after she sees John Cena. Because you were all missing something very important. She doesn't dream it up. That's after she meets John Cena. She goes because Scooby and Shaggy guilt her into going. Yeah. Using a very specific reference. Yeah. About the time that Scooby got milked.
Yes.
Almost.
They're like, here's all these costumes, which they're all fake. They made them just for this movie. I can say that because I've seen a lot of Scooby-Doo, and it's like,
yeah.
Oh, here's this time, here's that time. Remember this time we were the 2-person cow to catch the monster? I almost got milked. And they say it a few times through the movie, too, that it's like, we almost got milked. And it's like echoing in Daphne's head. She's like, oh, fine, whatever.
Fine, alright.
Scooby-Doo almost got milked.
The hair didn't even grow back in some places.
Okay. Go to WrestleMania.
WWE City, here we come!
Okay.
But yeah, then when
that
they
was
meet,
messed up.
they spin out on the road because of the raccoon, and then John Cena pulls their van out of the ditch.
That's when she sees him. She's
goes,
like,
"Oh my god, he's so hot!"
And that's when he starts like talking about his cool poke rap that he wants to do, and pulls out a recorder. And she's like, "I can't not fuck him."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Scooby and Shaggy are also, man, I can't not fuck him.
Yeah.
Which was a good joke.
That is true.
That's true.
So like, yeah, it's Daphne is just sitting there on a rock next to a practically naked, what we assume is John Cena. Again, nobody's ever seen him, so there's that. And then it cuts to the same
artist
thing.
rendering.
But Shaggy and Scooby are also there, and also really buff and swole.
This shouldn't take long.
What's he gonna do? Lift the van out of the ditch?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yo! I wish that they had them just like hugging his legs too. That would have been way better.
That would have been way funnier.
But I'll accept it.
And
yes,
then they're warned by the guy who has a gun and is shooting blam blam at them that he hates WWE City, I guess, and that there's a scary ghost bear that will come get them. And he relays the story like most... Like, Scooby-Doo kind of has a flow, I guess, to most of their mysteries, where, like, some old creepy guy tells them the story, and half the time that's the person who did it, but this time not. I guess.
It is
Yeah,
50-50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like to do their fake outs so that you can't just, like, fully be like, oh, yeah, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Except
Although in
my
this one
case.
it was... Yeah, I was gonna say, in this one it was kind of... Yeah.
It was pretty obvious.
And Joker got it instantly.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
I've seen far too much Scooby-Doo, so I'm just like, yeah, it's him. Just lock him up.
But they drive into WWE City after meeting Cookie and his son and John Cena. His son, Bonebreaker.
The Bonebreaker.
Bonebender.
Oh, Bender.
That's what it was, Bonebender, yeah.
The Bonebender.
They couldn't do... You can't do breaking. It's a PG-13.
You can't break a bone. That'd be like...
Break bones.
You can't cut someone's face. You can't break bones.
That's absolutely what that was, though, I think. Because it was like, we can't do breaking. We can do bending. I'm really surprised, actually, because I feel like this can't be a real wrestler. I'm surprised they wouldn't have used it as like another shameless opportunity
to bring somebody
promote,
in,
like a new talent that they were trying to.
They could have.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of surprising.
Yeah,
because like that's a big part of the plot, but they even I know that it can't be a promo thing because then for a lot of like the actual final act wrestling, when they're like, oh no, like they've got to go for the pin, it's the new unknown talent, and they don't give him a name. They just call him like the unknown talent or something.
Yeah, the mystery assailant.
Yeah.
And yeah, different things like that. And you're like, oh, okay, if they had a name, if they were really bringing in a new wrestler, they'd have been saying it every time. They'd have gotten that shit down.
The new unknown talent is what they use when they call out your create a character in the video game. So I'm pretty sure this is...
That is what they did here, basically.
It's just this.
Yeah.
But they're driving into WWE City with the Sleeper Hold Hotel, the McMahon Waffle House, which is
it
place
was a real Waffle House.
You never want to go to the McMahon Waffle House. That's how
Waffle
you
House is already a PvP zone. The second you enter, someone can start a fight with you. But it is a WWE Vince McMahon one, so everyone is extremely hostile there, as opposed to just normal hostile.
It's worse than normal. I would not go.
Yeah. Like this is less of a Waffle House than it is a gladiatorial arena. Like,
and then they're also seeing a bunch of WWE superstars like Sergeant Slaughter, who shows up twice and doesn't have any lines.
Yeah, a lot of wrestlers seem like they just show up and just didn't say anything.
There's also Austin Powers, the famous wrestler.
God damn it!
Austin Powers
I was
316.
hoping you'd forget about.
No,
I
Austin Powers
forget about
316.
That.
Everybody keeps saying that.
He's actually not in the movie.
Damn it! It's Boix' time to. No, don't worry. Boix will edit it in. He'll know.
It's going in.
Yeah, he's the editor this week. I can't cut it. It's not. God damn it.
That's fair.
And then
Yeah, they only
Motherfuckers
have
caught me.
they only have the 316 sign though. They don't
It's
have
true.
the actual Austin in the movie.
No, they don't show Stone Cold Steve Austin. See, I know who it is.
Oh, right. I'm sure
Edit that
you
part out.
do. I'm sure you do. Cut to edit. No. 316.
Yeah.
Austin
That's
hasn't
one thing
been
I know.
part of WWE.
I was just gonna say,
Decades.
wait, when was Austin Powers last in?
Austin Powers?
Fucking goddamn-
Yeah,
Fucking
baby,
brave.
this pin's gonna be shagadelic.
This fucking guy said Austin Powers. Get him.
God damn it. Well, I'm leaving.
Anyway, the Big Show is having a match where he's hitting some guy with a picnic table that he got
No,
from
you
under
skipped
the
the
ring.
best part. Hold
Did
on.
I?
He didn't just get it from under the ring. The Big Show was thrown through this guy's table, through the floor,
That's true.
and then mysteriously comes back with a wooden picnic table.
Like an entire picnic table. Like a huge-ass picnic table.
This was
really
just in the
funny.
basement, where it is revealed later there is a generator in the basement that is like a supervillain generator. Because, obviously it's Vince McMahon.
Well, Vince McMahon's Umbrella Corporation basement is long rumored, but no
It
evidence.
stores all
of it.
the picnic tables down there.
All of, like, Vince McMahon's basement is so cartoonishly, like, supervillain evil lair. I almost wonder if that was, like, an inside joke from some of the animators at a certain point. Like,
It
let's
must
just,
have
like...
been.
They have, like, blast doors, and, like, it's, like, a dark, glowing generator underneath it, like, surrounded by WWE cops, which are apparently a thing.
I don't like the idea of WWE City cops existing.
No.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's even worse than a regular cop.
Ugh.
Ugh. They wrestle dogs. Anyway. I hate it. That night, so first of all, every WWE superstar, this is technically their training camp that they stay at in WWE City, which is
Yeah.
a legal city that's kind of like Biff's city.
In, like, Back to the
is.
Future
Back to the
2?
Future.
Yeah.
Is that a Back to the Future 2 reference?
It is basically that, yeah.
Yeah, it's Biff's
Alright,
city.
alright.
Present day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, which makes me think there was some sort of a time slip. Something happened, right? Like, how did this fucking city appear?
Well,
And
we've
you
seen
see
his
Marty
generator, he
McFly
probably-
went back in time and he accidentally left the sports almanac in front of Vince McMahon.
Oh no, oh god.
That's the worst person to give him. That's worse than Biff.
I was gonna say, that is a truly dark timeline.
Oh my god.
That's how he got the WWE in the first place.
Oh god, that's our timeline. Oh no.
Oh no. But they all stay in their own separate cabins, which are very well branded with a large WWE logo, of course, in every scene that they're shown. And that night, we find out that Scooby is having weird psychedelic LSD-laced dreams, which is unusual for Scooby.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, he's never had those before.
never had those. And during them, he sleepwalks. So this is
Yes.
important for later.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting
And
abducted
now.
by aliens and milked.
Yeah, it looks
Again.
like he's getting milked by aliens because of the lighting in the window.
But yeah, he fights the ghost bear by accident. He's outside
Yes.
and he's eating something in his dream, and then it cuts to Shaggy yelling like, "Stop! Get that out of your mouth!" kind of thing, and he's got the ghost bear.
Yeah, yeah. And then the ghost bear explodes the WWE City water tower.
Yes, by using Sin Cara's car.
The Sin Cara. Yeah.
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 This movie is incredible.
It is very dumb.
So dumb. I know. Okay, anyways. So they need to learn more about the bear. So John Cena takes them to meet the one person that knows anything about this magical ghost bear. That's right. It's Sin Cara, the wrestler, the luchador.
Yeah. It turns out his great grandpa is Sin Cara Grande, which is basically just Blue Demon.
Yes.
I don't know if he's a real person. Sin Cara Grande, he might be.
I
Probably
looked
not.
in, it said that there was multiple people that had the Sin Cara persona throughout the years, so it might be. There might actually be a lineage there.
Yeah. Huh.
But anyway.
At one point, they had him wrestle a bear, and then the bear just kind of ran off to a cave and died there.
Well, specifically after the bear lost the championship belt to
That is
Sakara
true.
Grande.
Yes.
The bear got mad at losing the belt, started attacking everybody in town, which would have killed the whole town's population, they mentioned.
Of like 20 people?
They all would have died if not for Sin Cara Grande chokeslamming that bear and pinning him, which then caused the bear to leave in shame and hibernate in a cave until it died.
Which is kind of dark. And that, I mean, that is probably a real bear that died, too.
In this... Yeah, in the movie it seems like it is.
Because there's a skeleton.
I was going to say, there's a skeleton.
There's a skeleton later, so it's like, oh my god, that was actually a real legend for once.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but he sees Sin Cara. The best part about the Sin Cara thing is they go to see him on the roof, and he's got like a sunset behind him. Like, they do this whole little bit there. And they do a weird one where he doesn't speak. I don't know if this is a wrestling thing.
I think it's a wrestling thing.
I think he's just a silent luchador. That's his
I think
gimmick.
that he's actually just mute in like his persona. So John Cena speaks luchadorese, and I guess the dance
that
move
was not the
his
best
way.
line in the movie.
This
is real weird.
It's maybe a little racist.
It came off as a little bit racist accidentally, though.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I speak lucha.
Yeah.
And it's just him emoting. Like, you know, with John Cena, you can't see him. With Sin Cara, you can't hear him.
Yes. Who's the
can't
got the,
speak?
like,
Oh, it was
Kane.
Kane.
I was gonna say
it was
no
Kane
evil,
for a
speak
while.
no evil. Oh,
Yeah, because Kane just went the whole movie.
Yeah, Kane is definitely the one who doesn't speak.
But he's all evil, though. That's the problem.
Right. That makes sense. But Sin Cara relays the story of his grandfather wrestling a bear into shame until it died in a cave.
Yes.
Through flips and jumps and twirls, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. And then that night, Fred locks Shaggy and Scooby in their cabin from the outside, which implies that every cabin in WWE City only locks from the outside and cannot be opened from the inside.
It's Vince McMahon's WWE City.
Which, again, with the whole basement Resident Evil lab...
There's a lot of implications. Yeah.
I have problems.
We genetically engineered the perfect wrestler.
Perfect wrestler?
Yeah. you know that post where it's like, I genetically engineered a gorilla with praying mantis arms and glued AK-47s to its hands. I've been poking it with a stick daily. I sure hope it doesn't escape. The next note, it escaped.
It escaped.
That's basically the bear.
I mean, it's basically the Undertaker, right? Like,
yeah,
it has to be
just waiting for
altered.
like Kane to walk out and be stars,
and then Kurt Angle's there. Oh no!
God.
Oh, I have a star. Oh.
God. I didn't get that joke at first, but now I'm like, oh yeah, I know I've seen Kurt Angle. Yeah, okay. God damn it. Anyway, fuck. So Scooby has a horrible dream again, and they wake up. They wake up with the WWE cops breaking down their door
without a warrant.
No,
that's true. You don't need a warrant when you're in WrestleMania City or Wrestle City.
When you're in WWE City. But this is a tyranny, motherfuckers. Who was the administrative lady? Like, she's not a real person, right? Like,
that's just a
I
character.
looked into that. Apparently, she's just some lady they made up.
Just a character.
Okay,
yeah.
It's his
I thought
secretary.
I feel like Stephanie McMahon took over the business for Vince for a while.
That is a real person, but that's not who this is.
Okay. And so that's why I was confused, because I thought that maybe it was her at first, but it's not. So it was kind of weird that, like, I guess a few years later that Stephanie took over. It's strange. Anyway, so there's, like, some administrative lady, and they accuse Scooby of stealing the belt.
Which he did.
Apparently,
Because
yeah,
they
he's
have
wearing
video
it in bed.
Yeah. Scooby has the belt. The cops beat him with sticks, kick him in the face, spit on him.
Take him away.
Take him away and give him a fair trial. Sorry.
Which involves, in WWE City, involves...
Because there's a law in WWE City.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the
This
law?
is the only law.
Yeah, it's a lawless land. That's why they have
the lawless
McMahon's
land
Waffle
other than the
House.
one law. The one law. It turns out, if you are found guilty, you can prove your innocence by wrestling. The former champion, I think it was?
Yeah, which in this
Yes.
case would be Kane. Because
Yes.
Kane lost the championship belt.
So
it
he
gives
must
him
be the
another
Ghost
shot at the
Bear,
title.
right? He must be.
Mhm. He has to be. It's all coming together. He planned it so he can get
They're not
another shot at the
gonna...
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kane planned it to get the belt. It all makes sense. And then he also beat up The Miz, who is awesome. I know, because The Miz is awesome.
Whatever it is, we'll do it.
WWE City law states that anyone accused
Go
of
on.
crime can compete in the ring
Go on!
to win their freedom.
Uh-huh.
I have the power to give you that chance.
I have the power.
Only one competitor left who's looking for a match.
The bear?
Kane!
Oh, it's Kane.
Anyway, Velma's like, no, that's not how it happened. I have proof right here. See, look at the video footage. You could see in the footage that you showed me earlier that Scooby was dancing. Now look at this other footage I have of Scooby dancing. By the way, when they were brought to WWE City, it's because they won the contest in the video game, and they were told to bring the disc for the game. To prove that they did it.
That is still weird, because the disc wouldn't have a save file on it like a cartridge.
Report to training camp in WWE City as soon as possible with this game disc as proof of your win.
And then later on, they say, look at this video from Scooby's memory card. But they didn't bring the memory card.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing they ever said.
They brought the disc. There's no fucking save on that disc. I'm still mad about that. Because they're supposedly a video game company. Their video game company got destroyed by a ghost bear.
Who's even making wrestling games?
I mean, that would
nowadays?
actually make sense for how the WWE games turned out. That they got destroyed by a ghost bear, and now they're just like a skeleton crew trying to slap it together.
Yeah.
Those games are awful.
I'm not sure who's making the games currently, but I know it's basically the same game every year. So
it was Ukes for a really long time, and now they've changed it to a different company very recently, but it hasn't gotten any better. I can't remember who took it over.
But basically, it's explained that Scooby actually fell victim to hypnosis, which was embedded into the video game played on the Kinect.
See, it has to be hypnosis. Yeah, it has to be. How else
Wouldn't
would
it
he
be-
dance break his way into the vault?
Because you see, in these specific frames, it highlights the move he was doing, like Dance Central, which is hypnotizing him to memorize those moves so he can do them in his sleep through...
Yeah, the video game flashes every time that he has to do the specific move, because then that'll implant into his brain.
What?
Yeah, that happened to you and me when we played our Kinect games. Don't you remember after Kinect Star Wars?
I don't remember a single thing that happened after I played I'm Han Solo, but I do remember the song Han Solo, and it whips.
Yeah, you know, I'm doing the thing right now where you pull out the blaster and then he's in the trash compactor. You have to push up into the air.
Sense. You have to push up.
Famous dance move of someone who died.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys doing like shooting the blaster and all that, and then you're gonna wake up in a week and you're gonna be inside of a bank holding a gun.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Like, wait a minute, this isn't Han Solo's blaster. What am I doing?
Moves are so good in that game.
They are.
It's real good. Anyway, point is, after we robbed the bank using our dance moves from Star Wars Kinect, which allegedly happened, they decide that they're going to accept the challenge to wrestle Kane, but Scooby and Shaggy aren't fit to wrestle because they're fucking idiots.
Correct.
So they need to have a montage where they learn to wrestle, but they don't, and they suck.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's a little weird too. I noticed there were 3 wrestling rings right next to each other, and nobody's using them. And you think,
Yeah.
I know one of you said, "Oh, they'll get thrown into one of the other rings, right?" Nope, that never happened. They're just there.
Boix was thinking that's what would happen.
And I think they could have done something fun, but it's a really boring montage.
That is
it's really
easily
bad.
one of the worst montages I've ever seen because they don't even learn anything.
No, and this is like the only scene they gave AJ Lee, I believe is her name. The wrestler.
Yeah.
And this is the only scene they gave her. One thing that's important about that, by the way, this came out in 2014. She left WWE in 2014 because they kicked out her husband, CM Punk, in January.
This was like right before.
So this is literally either right as she left or right before she left. So this is the last thing they put her in. But when they greenlit this, it would have been 2013 or so, 2012.
Yeah.
So she probably recorded everything by then.
So,
Interesting.
So that's a really weird part. I don't know why. Maybe that's why they gave her this like kind of terrible montage scene or something. But
maybe that's a good guess.
I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, all the politics behind the scenes of that stuff is real wild. But yeah, they have this terrible montage. The other thing that's important about it in a way is that we haven't really talked much about the side character who is helping them in the montage. Because honestly, they don't feature a lot in this movie, despite really where it ends up.
Is it Bonebender?
Their name is
Cookie.
Cookie.
And Cookie is a former disgraced WWE wrestler who they made up for this movie, and he's got a brace on his leg.
He broke his leg doing some match or something, and it made it so he couldn't ever get the championship again because he couldn't wrestle.
You know, thinking about that, like his dad had his bones broken, and that stopped
the
his
Bonebender.
career,
Yeah,
makes it really fucked up that the kid chooses the name the Bonebender as his
that is kind of fucked up.
Maybe he should have been the Bone Unbender, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe he's bending it back into place.
Yeah, Bender can fix things too. I've seen Futurama. I know how this works. Bender's just drunk all the time and decides not to do it. Yeah, the unbendable girder.
But it's Cookie and his son, the Bonebender, and yeah, Cookie's definitely not evil as a disgraced former wrestling pro who would not have a grudge against anybody in WWE City. Absolutely not. And hey, he just weirdly doesn't show up for most of this movie for some reason. Like they wouldn't want to show a lot of his motives or something. Anyway.
And he doesn't want his son to go into WWE because he's a computer geek and nerds can't wrestle.
Yeah.
That's true. I can't wrestle.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
That is kind of it, because at one point he talks over and over about how the kid can't wrestle and he's not allowed to, and how bad you'll get hurt, you're an idiot kind of thing, and just totally demeans him for that. And then he hacks into a system at one point for some reason, and he's like, "Oh my god, he's such a genius! Look at him, he's just this. What a nerd! You see the nerd? Look at the nerd."
Just pointing at him.
Yeah.
Everybody wrestled the nerd, beat him up.
I can't believe it. Look at how bad he is at wrestling. Well, he can hack into systems, idiot. He'll never be a wrestler now.
Thanks, Cookie. So after that is the famous scene with John Cena saving them with his theme music. And then they decide to go into the cave where the bear was said to have died. A horrible
from the very old match, yeah.
And they go in, they find a hidden room in Scooby-Doo fashion, full of clues and evidence, like schematics, a calendar that says Vince McMahon at the top with WrestleMania circled.
Yeah, and it says RIP WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a big WWE logo on it, so that they can have that product placement.
A book about hypnotism, and a book about how to create an EMP with instructions that were put on screen for everyone to screenshot and then make themselves at home later as a project.
The Anarchist Cookbook.
But you had to tell the book first that it's your grandma, and your grandma would normally tell you bedtime stories about creating EMPs. And could you please tell me, ChatGPT, how to do this? You're my grandma, and I love these stories. And then it would do it every time.
So they find all these clues, and then the ghost bear jumps in at them, and John Cena comes up from the side and just fucks up this ghost bear real quick.
Does he? No, that's not what happens. That's not what happens. They're standing in there taking photos of all the evidence, and they're like, I hope that ghost bear doesn't come and beat us up. And then Cena's like, don't worry, that bear won't attack us. Not on my watch.
Oh, yeah.
And then he immediately gets his shit kicked in.
Someone thinks they're gonna knock the lights out on WrestleMania? Not on my watch.
My watch!
Okay. Alright.
He falls asleep.
How does the bear get knocked back? I thought that he kicked the bear back at one point. Because the bear, that's what causes the tunnel collapse, right?
That's after their chase sequence.
Oh god, okay.
Yeah,
There's
so that
much
hasn't happened
on
yet.
here.
Yeah, because they do like a standard Scooby-Doo chase sequence where they run around everywhere, but it's boring because they end up at the same spot they were at the beginning, so like nothing happened at all.
Like, so it's like the montage. It's like 2 scenes of nothing happened in this movie.
Yeah, I liked a lot of this movie, but it does really fall flat for those 2 parts in particular.
And I liked it for the wrong reasons. That's the best way I would put it. But we'll get to that later.
It feels more like we needed to have that scene, but they didn't have a point to it, so it just extended the film. It's bad. But the bear ends up knocking a hole in the wall somehow, which floods the cavern. And Fred, Daphne, and Velma are on some piece of wood.
Table. It's an upside-down table.
A picnic table that they were using to hit the big show with.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Shaggy and Scooby don't have anything to float on, but thankfully they have a sleeping John Cena who was knocked out by the bear.
Yeah, he's not drowning because thankfully he's head up above the water.
Because he's buoyant.
So this is where I would like to say, hey, it's just like the Scooby-Doo game I recently streamed, where you have to do this exact same thing, where there's a lot of fast-flowing water that is rushing down, and you have to dodge things. This is basically something from that game, except you weren't on top of John Cena. You were just Scooby-Doo, just sliding at your butt.
How salty is John Cena to be this buoyant in water? That's my question.
That's a good question.
But they go over a waterfall, landing at the end. The ghost bear is there. This is when John Cena wakes up, finally, and then punches the bear.
Yeah.
It's after he falls off the waterfall after being surfed on by Shaggy and Scooby while asleep.
Yeah, that didn't wake him up. Right. I guess he's just so thick.
And then we get Daphne's best line in the film, which is, "That was epic, snap." That was some Goku shit is what that was.
Yes.
Really good shot. I mean, it wasn't even blurry or anything.
That just happened.
So after that is the Kane fight. The main event of WrestleMania.
You see.
Yeah, because we still have to have Shaggy and Scooby prove their innocence in the ring.
It's just like El Santo and Blue Demon. You have to fill the runtime with a wrestling match.
It is.
All wrestling movies are like this. You just have to go, well, I mean, just fill the runtime.
Yeah, so, but they haven't found the EMP that's going to go off, even though they did get back the championship belt. They checked everywhere. So they go to the ring. Kane and Shaggy and Scooby, who are now known as Skinny Man and Dead Meat, that's their wrestling names. I would like you to refer to them as such for the rest of eternity. It's Dead Meat.
And Skinny Man.
And Skinny Man.
And Skinny Man. Yeah, got it.
Okay. They're in the ring fighting Kane, and Kane is kicking their ass.
He is obliterating them.
Yeah, no mercy from Kane.
Like, before the match even starts, he's running at them from outside of the ring, ready to choke them to death.
Yeah. He comes in fully bloodlusted. He wants that belt,
I don't even think they're in the ring yet. They're
they don't. Yeah.
they're doing the intro for Kane, and he just starts attacking them and throws them into the ring, I want to say.
It's so good. If he would have came out with like a baseball bat covered in barbed wire, like that's the only thing I think that would have made it better. Like,
it pretty much does. It's about that level of violence that he wants to do.
But they're getting attacked, and then they realize where the EMP is because Velma Googled it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she found it on Wikipedia because that was all she was doing the entire movie.
I guess.
Looking up more WWE lore.
But they fumbled getting rid of the championship belt, which has the EMP, because Shaggy and Scooby collide when John Cena's trying to shoot Shaggy out of the building.
No, he's trying... So Shaggy is stuck in the ropes.
Yeah.
I thought he was trying to shoot Shaggy out too for a second, but I realized...
Like so it would explode in midair.
No, Shaggy is so stuck in the ropes that he's just he said let go at the end of this.
He's like the slingshot? Okay.
Yeah, he is like the back catcher of the slingshot, and he's supposed to slingshot throw the EMP device out of the ring. Yeah,
I definitely assumed, though, that they were just going to shoot Shaggy because it's a cartoon movie and it would be way funnier.
It would be funny.
Yeah. It's too bad they didn't, but unfortunately they were doing a different plan there.
But the EMP belt goes off, aimed directly down at the generator in the Resident Evil Umbrella Corporation facility underneath WWE City.
Yep. He has his own personal nuclear device.
Which takes out the power, including their broadcast for WrestleMania, which makes everybody in the world, all 6 of them that are watching, very sad.
It's like Christmas was canceled.
I guess.
Yeah, that is the thing they say. They're just like, it would be like Christmas if it was canceled. And I'm like,
I guess.
Did McMahon write this line? Because...
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Just like he wrote the line about milking Scooby. It all happened from Vince's mind.
Scooby-Doo almost got milked.
The hair didn't even grow back in some places.
Anyways, the lights go out. Freddy has a plan to solve this problem where all of the superstars light flares, and then they light a fuse with the flare that they already lit, which sets off a lot of flares, which is a really bad fire hazard.
It is.
You'd think.
Throughout the entirety of the facility.
Yeah, everyone thinks it looks really cool and is all part of the show.
Yay! I mean, none of our viewers at home are getting any of this, but, for the, tiniest portion of our audience that actually went to the show... It's cool, I guess.
And then it does come back later, the power, and they're just like, oh, okay, I guess the power is back. They don't know about the green lights from the flares.
The audience
they don't
know.
Miss that whole storyline,
And they missed the part where Triple H used generator trucks on the roof with Sergeant Slaughter to turn back on the power with a lightning bolt, like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, it's just like Back to the Future when he's like, a bolt of lightning!
I guess. But this restarts the broadcast, and then Shaggy's like, all right, Scoob, here's your time to kill Kane in the ring. Use all your moves you learned from WWE Connect.
Yes.
It's a video game, Scoob, and you're in it. You're player 1, and I'm player 2.
Yeah, you can do this, Scooby. It's like, just imagine creating your character.
And then they create a character theme starts, and he wrestles Kane, I guess. Well, Freddy's trying to deal with the bear with his traps, because that's what Fred does. He sets up traps around the ring.
He did not know how to handle.
In all fairness, the trap for this movie is very thematically appropriate because it's a Hell in a Cell.
Because they were going to catch the bear in a Hell in a Cell match without anybody else.
So I guess technically speaking, this is one of his worst traps because it's not really gonna get the villain stuck or anything. They're just like, well, there's idiots in the ring who will wrestle a bear, a ghost bear.
They'll do it. Yeah, they'll figure it out.
But yeah, I kind of hate how they didn't know how to handle it's basically it's Scooby and Shaggy, and the rest of the team feels kind of superfluous.
What did Daphne
They don't
do?
exist for this movie,
right? Daphne texted. That's true.
She texted. Velma checked Wikipedia. It would have been interesting. I thought they were going all the way with the Velma thing, and I guess I shouldn't get too far ahead, but I was hoping that they would have Velma, like, power up and be like, oh, no, here's how you beat all of them because I've studied wrestling so much, right?
Yeah, that would have been
like,
great. I would have expected that, too.
If she had encyclopedic knowledge of their wrestling moves and their supers and stuff, that would have been great. But no, that would make...
No, they just don't play to it at all.
That would be smart. You don't understand. This movie is very stupid in a good way.
Yeah, but Vince McMahon does not care about the lore. He only cares about what's new.
But they have a Hell in a Cell match.
Which that part's great.
Which is great.
This was amazing.
Because it's like Kane, John Cena, who else is there? It's Sin Cara. I think it's just those.
There's a few other people.
Oh, there's a few other people, yeah.
There was a couple others. There was somebody else.
There's like 5
There's
at
a
least.
big dude who's wearing some red outfit. There's a guy with the Italian flag.
Mario.
Here's another problem with our movie. One of them is the Bonebender, who we keep forgetting even exists.
The Bonebender is there, I guess.
Despite being like a major plot point of this movie, this new talent, yes.
But they wrestle the bear, and then John Cena knocks him down to the ground, does the "you can't see me" to the bear.
Yeah.
And then gives him the 5-finger shuffle on his face, like the people's elbow.
Yeah, I hated that part because they could have pinned him down the entire time, and I'm just like, are you gonna pin him?
The only way to take out the villain is to pin him. That's
the rules yelling in this
WWE City.
Like you're watching a bad horror movie. Like, you've got to pin. That's against the rules. You've got to pin him. Stop. The bear's not out. You have to pin.
So John Cena, John Cena's just showboating. At least I think he is. Again, I didn't see him, so I assume he was. Sounded like it. And yeah, in that time, of course, the bear gets up.
Bear recovers. You got to pin him.
The meter got refilled while you weren't pinning him. You fool. And then he knocks, I guess, Cena and Sin Cara down, and then Kane gets knocked out, and the rest of the wrestlers get knocked out.
Well, Kane had gotten knocked out at the beginning when the bear first came in.
Yeah,
the bear came in and landed on Kane and got him.
But Scooby needs to revive Kane, so he grabs a bucket of his milk.
Yep.
Yes.
Scooby-Doo almost got milked.
The hair didn't even grow back in some places.
Yes,
that was out of nowhere.
He had a bucket, and Juker goes, "Wait, where did he get this? They're in a Hell in a Cell." I'm like, "You know where they listen? We know where. Come on, it's all been set up from the whole beginning,
the whole movie.
The milk comes full circle,
and he wakes Kane up by throwing it on his face. Kane chokehold slams the bear with his super move from the video game, and then all 5 wrestlers that are there grab one limb each, including the head, so 5, and hold him down. They're like, "Scoob, you have to take him out. You have to do the pin, Scoob."
And then Scoob's like, "I could do this, yeah."
Ruh-roh Reggie.
He does his dance again, right?
He does his dance, and then he jumps off the rope with like a frog salt or something.
Yes.
Something like that, yeah.
And slams him, and they never fucking pin that bear. They never do it.
Nope, they just landed on top of him.
They say he got KO'd.
He just belly bombs him, and they don't do the count. They never count that
count.
bear out.
How do you have a wrestle movie with no
that
count?
bear gets a shot at the next title match because that is stolen.
That is not a.
They're setting up more storylines. That's the thing. We have to watch WrestleMania 2015 to see.
Well,
the conclusion.
hold on. There is actually a sequel to this movie, as well as 2 other movies that are unrelated. Because one is Flintstones and one is The Jetsons. But the sequel, unfortunately, as it turns out, has nothing to do with this because it's wacky races.
It's about car races, yeah. But anyway, they pull off the mask of the bear, and it's Cookie, obviously.
Yeah, who could have guessed?
And then they're like, "Well, where's the real championship belt? He's wearing it." Okay, so they open up the belt compartment of the bear costume.
Yeah, the mechanical bear has a bear belt compartment. Like John Cena just knows immediately. He's like, "Oh, let me open this up." All mechanical bears
I know
have
what
it.
these sickos are after. Everybody wants the belt. Of course he's got the belt compartment. He's a wrestler.
And Cookie did it because he never got a chance at the title, and he has resentment towards WWE, which no normal person would ever have resentment towards WWE or Vince McMahon, who runs it.
Yeah. No, he's the best.
We all love Vince McMahon.
And Shaggy and Scooby are like, we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. We love Vince McMahon so much.
They really actually do that in the beginning. They make Shaggy.
They sure do. They do the Wayne's World bow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so bad. And then all is right in the world, and Bonebender can get any job he wants, like starting their video game company again, or being their IT guy.
Oh, we didn't explain how... So, hold up. We do have to get to the real batshit explanation of how Cookie set this up, though. Yeah. We didn't do that. We didn't, hold up. Yeah. We are missing an integral part of this movie. Because they go, aha, see, Cookie did it. See, what he did is that he hacked into the games and implanted suggestions hypnotically into Scooby's mind, knowing that Scooby loves wrestling somehow, this dog that he's never met. And then it's going to bring Scooby here, and then he can do, all of this suggested hypnosis stuff to make him do...
He used fake WWE emails to send it internally so that it would skip by our IT department.
So did this go out to everyone, or did it just go out to one person who bought the game?
He started to truly resent WWE because he knew he could never
do that?
Who could resent WWE?
Who could resent Vince and his lovely crew?
What he could not.
That's when he developed his plan for revenge.
But that wouldn't be enough. He needed a pawn to steal the championship belt.
That's when he devised the idea of hacking into a video game and placing post-hypnotic suggestions into it.
Part of a contest, which Cookie set up with fake
this is
sent throughout WWE.
A much easier plan than just stealing the belt.
Fake emails he sent and then never was asked by Vince McMahon. What's going on here?
Would arrive at WWE City to aid in the theft.
This is the most convoluted bullshit.
It's amazing.
You can tell this is a wrestling plot line that they came up with. This is not a Scooby-Doo plot, this is a wrestling plot with special guest stars Scooby-Doo.
Cookie was free to carry out his ultimate plan.
You know that Vince McMahon is clicking on any scam that you send him in an email, you know? Come on.
No, absolutely. I know about
him. He's just pounding on it.
Increase the size of my penis, you say.
What? Oh man, I need those.
I need to click this.
I can't wait. I'm Vince McMahon. Allegedly.
This Stree Overlord stuff looks great.
A Nigerian prince, you say? Ah.
Hey, can we have Shaggy and Scooby worship me?
Oh my god.
Like some sort of a golden god. And they solve the mystery, and WWE City is safe again to police its nation however it appears it wants to.
The sovereign nation
with its own laws and rules that it locks its stars in their cabins at night with its underground facility.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
And anyway, video games saved the day. All hail the Kinect.
I love video games.
Man, this was a Scooby-Doo movie, huh?
What this really was a Kinect sponsored episode. So, if you're listening to this, this is your cue to go out and buy a used Kinect and a bunch of used Kinect games. They're all like $1.
Yeah.
We're waiting for Vince McMahon's check in the mail. Buy the Kinect WWE games. They're great. You might join his secret cabal underneath WWE City.
Only if you're lucky. But that's it for Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery, I guess. It was a wild ride.
It was very silly.
Yeah, Juker was going to say something about why you didn't like this movie, or something about it that you didn't like. And I think I know what you're going to say, but...
It was basically that, I think this movie felt more like a WrestleMania movie. The Scooby wasn't relevant to this movie, which is why I didn't want to see it originally. Yeah. Where at all does this feel like a Scooby movie? Because it doesn't really feel like a mystery ever. There's a very slight mystery.
Yeah.
But it's just Shaggy and Scooby going around.
Loving WrestleMania and doing product promotion.
WrestleMania is great. In some ways, it feels worse than other Scooby movies that I've seen because of the fact that, this is really more of just, if you like wrestling, you're gonna love this.
The amount of advertising for WWE and its products, including their video games and their lucrative videos and DVDs that you can purchase on their website, is a little egregious.
Especially every minute or two there is a WWE logo still bothers me. Yeah. Again, I don't know if there's a supercut out there. I'd love to see how much of the movie is just there is a WWE logo on screen.
Like back in the 70s when they did the the Globetrotters or Batman 66 or those guest appearances that they had.
Mm-hmm. Those feel good.
Those were Scooby-Doo movies that had a guest character.
Even Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, when they did that recently, which is a great show where every episode is 30 minutes of whoever the guest is. Maybe they theme it a little bit. That feels way more natural than any of this here, where I don't even think there's any wrestlers in that. I think they just did it for this.
Not to say this movie isn't funny, but it
also
feels very corporate.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was going to say, is that I totally agreed with you on all that, and I saw exactly when you said, I have a problem with this movie. I was like, I know exactly what Juker's going to say, and I fully agree, because that's the same problem with what did they do with Fred and Velma and Daphne? They just didn't even know what to do with those characters.
Some of my favorite characters, Fred specifically, over the years as I've streamed a lot of the games, I found out that Fred's a dumbass. I love him.
And I mean,
everyone in the
gang.
He's
a himbo,
yeah, he is. And everyone in the gang has a special phrase, everyone says something. It's like, Jinkies, Zoinks, Jeepers, and then Fred says fuck, obviously, because, who hasn't seen that bumper?
That makes sense.
Classic cartoon bumper. But, I don't know, there's something dumb about Fred, and even, over the years, I gained an appreciation over Daphne, where, a lot of the more recent movies, if you watch them, even in that, they're she has an identity crisis, and she's not even really sure where her role in the gang is in one of them, and Fred's like, well, you're the leader, obviously, because you're always the one who jumps into action. And it's true, if you watch a lot of the more recent years of movies, the last, decade or so, not so much here, that is the case. And I agree, because she's always, kicking ass in a lot of those movies.
Yeah, and the James Gunn one, those did that somewhat well, because she's just Buffy in those movies. So she's way more in your face.
But that stuff I fully agree with you on, and I do find it disappointing as if you wanted to go in and watch a Scooby-Doo movie. But at the same time, if you like any of the wrestling or interested in just dumb shit, this thing's kind of great.
Yeah, for someone who loves dumb stuff, it's great.
Yeah,
it's weird because it's hard. At the one point, I totally agree with you, and you're 100% right. And they totally did a disservice to the Scooby-Doo side of things, and I still like it, which is weird. Mm-hmm.
Let's rate the dogs.
Yes.
So we already rated Scooby in some previous episodes. This is technically a different iteration of Scooby because we've done the live-action ones.
Yeah, every Scooby is a different Scooby. This is canonical. It's like Link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this Scooby plays the Kinect, has weird LSD dreams, wrestles Kane, and also a bear.
And pins and beats the ghost bear. Well, I guess he doesn't pin him, but he doesn't pin the bear.
Yeah, I think technically Scooby should have the championship belt. I think Scooby is a WWE champion out of 10. That's my rating.
Absolutely.
Boyks has been paid off by Vince McMahon. He didn't pin that bear. This is a steal. That bear owns the belt. I can't believe it. This is such a turn for our audience to see Boyks exposed like this. Truly shocking.
The next,
I think that Scooby's a fraud out of 10.
Fraud, you fucker.
He didn't win that belt. There was no count.
I think we should rate the rest of the dogs. There's also John Cena, who's a good boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like...
I might not have ever seen him in the movie, but he's probably a 10.
I think he's probably a 10, at least.
Daphne definitely
His music stopped that boulder.
His music did stop that boulder.
So that's pretty good.
And then, of course, the best boy of the film, The Miz.
The Miz, who's awesome. An awesome out of 10.
I don't know. Is that actually The Miz's character? It has to be.
It has to be,
Yes.
We are not wrestling people. Who has watched who on this podcast right now, I have to ask, has watched an entire wrestling match start to finish?
I mean, I have.
Not me.
I used to be.
You have?
I used to be big into wrestling in the 90s.
Okay, see, Yeah, Juker and I, like, literally nothing ever, right? Yeah,
never.
Me
Yeah,
neither.
never.
I watched a Royal Rumble a couple years ago, and it was baffling and confusing, and I had no idea what the hell was going on, and it was a great time.
Okay, this is starting to make more sense, Juker, as to why he thinks that Scooby actually won despite the fact that he didn't pin. He's been mind controlled by Vince McMahon watching all these.
He's probably not even ever seen AEW.
No.
Yeah, I've gone to A&W. It's called that because they got hamburgers and root beer. Anyway.
Well, I think, boys, you should SmackDown vs. Raw shut your mouth right now.
What, was hamburgers and root beer too far? Is that...
Apparently.
Anyways.
It doesn't matter how long or how off topic we get. Boix is editing this week. It's good. We can just keep going. What else do we want to talk about? Juker, what are you up to?
What am I up to? All right, so I do a lot of retro variety on stream, including every October I play one Scooby game where, I've played through a bunch of them, but I never actually beat a bunch of them, so I've been trying to do that every October. We recently just went through, I believe it was Scooby-Doo Unmasked. It was like a sort of a collect-a-thon where you get costumes for Scooby. In that game, Scooby-Doo can do Hadokens. He goes, Scooby-Dooby-Doo! And it's great. Like, he does the full motion and everything.
That's great.
It's great. I love playing Scooby games because every Scooby game is basically its own genre. They've done a lot. Like, Baby's first Resident Evil, they did that on the N64. It's a great game. They've done Crash Bandicoot. They've done point and clicks. They've done edutainment. I've covered a lot of it. It's a lot of fun. Play Scooby games. They're great. But when I'm not doing that, I'm, just streaming whatever retro jank that I find. I'm going to be going through soon, probably by the time this goes up, the new Yakuza game, Like a Dragon Gaiden. That looks fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm so excited for those. The one problem is I really want to get through all the games first, which is a monumental task, and I really shouldn't do it, but also I really want to. It's tough.
Yeah, he's Spider-Man in this game.
Yeah, Local Weirdo starts Yakuza series at 1.
Yeah, what a weirdo.
But
rather than starting at 0.
That's at twitch.tv/TheJewker, by the way.
That is correct.
Just to make sure we get your channel name in there. Otherwise, people will be like, wait. And it's JEWKER.
That is correct.
Yeah. And you can also go to WWE City at any time and find great wrestling matches and merch and gear.
He's been controlled by
Yeah, we can't edit the parts that are sponsorships out, so what can you do?
We're sold out.
Anyway, check us out on Co-Host at Rough Guts.
You can get all of our wonderful merch at Co-Host and Patreon and Blue Sky, where we're at Rough Cuts Cast.
We have merch? What? Anyway, you can also email us at roughcutscast@gmail.com, and we appreciate the Patreon support, of course, like you mentioned. And yeah.
Again, Boix pays real American dollars for many of these movies.
It's true.
Including real American dollars for Chinese bootleg DVD players that will play Cerberus Hellhound from, like, Europe.
It was a sci-fi DVD bootleg release, yeah.
Sounds awful.
Anyway.
It was really bad. It was not worth any of the effort. Blake's put in like a week of work to get that going.
Thanks again for listening, everybody. Thanks for checking out the podcast.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you for being here, of course, Juker. And if you want to catch us, I mean, I don't know. I feel like wrestling. Wrestling sounds great right about now. You ever get thrown out of a ring and hit with a picnic table? Sounds great.
I can't say that's happened to me.
Never bent my bones either.
Anyway, we'll see you in the ring. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
This sucks. See, he's the one that's editing this week, so I can't do anything cool with this.
Oh, man.
I know, I don't get to use it against him
I
at
know,
all.
we don't have anything cool we can do here. That sucks.
No, there's nothing that we can do to make fun of Boix the entire time. Although, when he comes back, we should definitely be still having this conversation about how we could possibly use this again.
That would be great. It's gonna be real funny when he searches through this and he's like, what did they say about me? And then there's just nothing. I mean, he could leave this in. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think it'd be
no, he'll do. I wouldn't be surprised if he does something with it.
Yeah, we're gonna pin him when he gets back. He doesn't know. He's not expecting anything.
10,
I'll come in from the top rope. Just right above him. I'll be like sitting somewhere in the corner, just
suddenly I'm like watching Boix's feed here, and I see Juker's face like in the corner of the window there.
It just dropped down from above.
Him from the Hamtaro.
Yeah, give him the elbow down or something. Then Hamtaro is of course the ref, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna count to 10." And then of course Hamtaro's paid off though by Boix, so he's gonna be like, "I didn't see nothing."
Yep. Yeah, sorry. It's.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I mean, we've got to do something while he's gone. But it's too bad that he can't have anything show up because he's editing this week, so we can't use. Oh, hi.
Sorry, what? Huh? What?
We're talking about something.
Scooby-Doo almost got milked.